I cannot jinx teams that are not playing today. Okay? So, St. Louis already won. Washington played last night. I'm not going to discuss the jinx any further. I'm going to go back to wearing jerseys of teams that won the day before. I will be wearing this tomorrow at work. And hoping for a good day tomorrow. Tomorrow's Easter Monday. Some places recognize it as a holiday. Most places don't. But some businesses are open weird hours. Some aren't. I put my name in for a job yesterday. And I'm kind of hoping I hear back from them tomorrow. It's a job I'm highly qualified for. So those don't come up very often. But it's exactly up my alley. So if this works out, but no guarantees. All right. My favorite players. I get asked a lot about my favorite players. And my favorite players tend to be from my favorite teams, which is not a coincidence. I've had changes in who my favorite players are, and it's a weird list. I'm gonna warn you right now. This is a strange list of players in terms of who's on the list and who isn't. So let's just dive right into it. Number 20. 20 favorite players. I'm not including goaltenders. So if you're asking about goaltenders, that's not tonight. I'll do my favorite goaltenders. I'll probably come up with a top 10 soon. Number 20, Ryan Dzingel of the Ottawa Senators. Yeah, I'm cheering for Boston in the series, but I'll be cheering for Ottawa when they come out of it. I don't see Boston winning that series now. I just don't see it. I think it's going to be Ottawa's series. But Dzingel, number 20. You're not going to stop, are you? No, you always start whenever I start a video, so I'm going to go ahead and move this over here. I'll just turn the TV off so it won't be in the background bothering you people. No. The problem, I've got a bad habit where I start drinking a pop and I forget I've got it. So then I open another one. And it's like, oh, right, I didn't finish that first one. And then I end up really thirsty, and it's like, well, I'm thirsty because I'm not finishing anything. All right, so number 20. Ryan Dzingel. Not Matt Dzingel. That was the wrong card. Yeah, Matt. I don't know. I put weird first names in there, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, it's Ryan. So Ryan Dzingel, number 20. Let's keep going. He might have a brother named Matt. Who knows? Number 19, Patrick Kane of the Chicago Blackhawks. So based on just the guy's got a lot of heart and a lot of fight in him. While I'm not a Blackhawks fan, I like Kane, and I've respected the Blackhawks for the last few years. 18, Sidney Crosby. He'd be higher, but some of his antics drop him down that list. But he's still in my 20 favorite hockey players in the NHL. And there's not very many big star hockey players in my top 20. Like number 17, Dougie Hamilton. And there's some Flames fans that aren't happy with him right now. Hey, any three teams that I cheer for would love to have a Dougie Hamilton in the lineup. So don't be crazy. Number 16 is Erik Karlsson. Karlsson is on this list. The guy fights through everything. And again, I'm cheering for Boston against Ottawa, but I don't dislike Erik Karlsson. Not in the slightest. So that's no. All right, number 15. Patrick Eaves, because his beard is epic. No, it's this year he really won my respect in that a majority of the goals he scored was on a Dallas team that was going nowhere. So while a lot of his teammates were playing like, oh, well, we're screwed, Eaves never once took a night off. He's a fantastic player. He's not going to score 30 again, I don't think, in the NHL, but this summer he'll get a big contract. He will be worth about 2/3 of what he gets, is my guess, but whatever team picks him up is going to be very happy. They may not be happy about the cap hit, but they'll be happy to have him in the lineup. Number 14, Austin Matthews. I genuinely really like Austin Matthews a lot. I have right from his first game. I mean, the first game was epic, and he's had some downtime since, but he hit 40 goals. So you can't overstate that. Number 13, Brock Besser. I saw enough of him in Vancouver to say that he's one of my favorites. Don't prove me wrong, Brock. Number 12, Mitch Marner. It's weird. Coming into this year, I was like, if Marner puts on some weight, maybe he makes the team. Sure, he'll make a difference. Whatever. Genuinely one of my favorite players. Number 11, Tyler Seguin. Sagan's probably dropped this year, but he's dropped because other guys moved up. Not necessarily because he's not good. I'm just verifying the orders before I get into the top 10 because I'm I'm a stickler for that. Because number 10 is Brandon Carlo. As a Bruins fan, I've been very impressed with him this year. And second round draft picks for the Bruins have been pretty good, actually, in terms of their ability to just come up and perform. And number 9 is a first round draft pick who's come up in this year's playoffs. And while the Bruins are 1-1, McAvoy's not responsible for the one loss. Charlie McAvoy is one of those rare players. He's, I believe they sent out on Instagram that he's the 9th Bruin to ever play a playoff game before a regular season game. The last Bruin I can think of that did that is Torrey Krug. Number 8, Radek Faksa. He is a warrior on the faceoffs. He is a fantastic bottom six guy for Dallas, who I think has at least enough of a nose for the net that he could move up at some point in his career, but it's really hard to project that with him. Number 8, Nikita Trampkin. This was the reason that I panned the Goodbranson deal. I think Trampkin fills exactly the need that Goodbranson was brought in to fill, and I was worried that with Goodbranson brought in, Trampkin would be sidelined. And at the start of the year, I was right. Trampkin was not getting played by Willie D. He wasn't getting put in the lineup. And there were rumors at one point this year that he might bolt for the KHL, which would have been sad. The Canucks almost mismanaged this guy back to the KHL, and I'm really glad that he's still in the Canucks lineup. Well, golfing. Nobody's actually on the ice right now for the Canucks. Number 6, Frankie, my boy Frank. If his hands become what I think they could, this kid will score 20, 25 goals a year. He is he's fast, and he's deceptively fast, and he's good. He's not that big. He's going to struggle, but I really think he's got the potential to hit it. I think he needs a guy on his line to keep an eye on him. Like Cliff Ronning in his heyday with Vancouver had Momesso and Sandlock on his wings. Nobody messed with Ronning because he had the Twin Towers. Number 5, Jamie Benn. Ben would have been number 2 on this list a year ago. Jamie Benn didn't have a great season, and other guys passed him. That's just the truth. Number 4 on the list is Victor Arvidsson. Loved him in the playoffs last year. I love him in the playoffs this year. Loved him during the season. I cannot say enough good things about Victor Arvidsson. I think he is fantastic. I really do. I think he's fantastic. Number 3, Torrey Krug. Hey, Boston's blue line's got 3 guys in the top 10. Yeah, that's kind of the way it's working out. I really like Boston's blue line a lot. Krug had a rough start to the season. He wasn't scoring. His defensive numbers were atrocious. He fought through it. He ended up having actually his best statistical season. He's capable of 60 points next year. If he avoids the slow start he had this year, he'll end up with 60 points. And I don't think he'll ever be a Norris Trophy finalist, but I do think he will be recognized as one of the better point men in the league within the next year or two. He may be there now. Number 2, Patrice Bergeron. I tell you, Bergie has been fantastic. And as much as Marchand got all the attention during their streak, and he had all these accolades for his points, without Bergeron on playing with him, he doesn't get that. Bergeron does all the things that don't get him points. And I think he played well enough to, at the very least, be in the running for best defensive forward this year, because he was absolutely fantastic. And number 1 is Bo. Because of course it's Bo. Why wouldn't it be Bo? So there you go. When I made this list, I made a rule. I didn't go through and double check everything. I didn't go through yearbooks and keep track of everybody. These were the 20 names, and I had 24. I lopped off the bottom 4. Connor McDavid just missed. He was 21. He just missed the cut. for me, it was important to say, okay, who is the most impressive guys to me right now? Who are the guys that I really cheer for the most? And it's not about who the most talented guys are. It is about the fact that when they're on the ice, there's just something in their game that I'm like, I am really impressed with their tenaciousness, their competitiveness, and when I'm cheering for a player, it's never going to be a guy who's a passenger. It's never going to be a guy who scores points, but seems to be kind of lackadaisical other games and doesn't show a lot of fight. Maybe he stays out of the corners because he doesn't want to get hurt. Uh, those guys don't impress me. I'm not a fan. And if you cheer for a team and you're like, wait, don't you have so-and-so in the lineup? No. There's a reason I cheer for Vancouver, Boston, Dallas, and Ottawa. I genuinely like the players on those teams. They're the guys I cheer for. They're the teams I follow the closest, of course, but the players I cheer for. Almost any team has players I cheer for. Right now, even Montreal, as much as I talk about them, Jordy Ben is fantastic. I'm glad the NHL fans around North America are finally finding out Jordy Ben is more than just Jamie Benn's older brother. He is simply fantastic. Who else in Montreal? I don't mind Carey Price. I like his attitude. I like his cockiness. In Anaheim, I like Rickard Rakell. I have Eves on my list. He's an Anaheim Duck right now. Was a Dallas Star early in the season. I like Silverberg. I love Cogliano. I think he is one of the most underrated players in the league. There are players on almost any team. San Jose, I love Donskoy. Tierney, I like his game. I think he's got a lot going for him, and maybe at some point he could push up and get a better role in that team, bigger role, anyways. I don't like that Couture scores key goals against teams I cheer for, but man, Couture is one hell of a player when he's on his game. So yeah, this is my favorite players. These are the guys that if you're watching a game with me, I'm going to cheer when they touch the puck and they do something fantastic with it. And when they do something bad, I'm going to wince and go, come on, like, don't do that. You're better than that kind of thing. So yeah, those are my favorite players. Let me know your favorite players in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And thank you very much for watching. This has been a very rewarding, happy Easter weekend. And this isn't the end of what I'll be talking about tonight. Of course, there's other things to discuss, but I do have to work in the morning because life stinks that way. Work, money. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all again soon.